Hey everyone, welcome back. So, because of that fortress that we found on that last video, I started to look around a lot more. Just like this is just, I guess this would be the eastern part of Crimea, uh, Kersh, where that bridge exploded. And I was like, you know what? I bet you anything there's going to be more stuff. And sure enough, boom, look at that. There's another one. And this is all, at first, this is all blind. I was just literally thinking, hey, there's got to be more stuff. And then, boom, there we go. Just on the other side of the bridge. So, I mean, I would suggest, y'all go ahead and look for yourselves. I'm just kind of interested in the geography. I don't really want to get into spending a month on studying these places that I visit anymore. That's kind of what was taking the fun out of it. It was me finding cool places and then just diving for 2 weeks or more, like in one spot. I mean, I know the history of Florida. It's ridiculous. There's no reason for me to need to know that. So I'm interested in the locations. And if I find something cool, then I'm going to upload it. And I was interested in the bridge blowing up, and then I found that huge star fort thing, and then I was like, well, you know what? This whole area looks pretty weird, so let's just look at the rest. And uh, so then after I made this video, after I recorded this part, I went ahead and corroborated on Google Maps, like names, or if you freeze on some of those. But this actually pops up clearer than on Google Maps. So I like to go through both, and I like to find things on here first and just be amazed like this. And then I like to go on Google Maps and see if I can actually confirm it with the second source. Um, just look at this. This is crazy. This is obviously like, I would say this is a target for military weapons, right? I mean, that's what I would say. They call this little area, though, I think like the land of the volcanoes for some reason, the land of the tiny volcanoes. But maybe it's because those people down there on the ground, they don't see those big plus signs that clearly look like a target. Although, on all the places of Earth that we've scoured, have you ever seen that before? So it is pretty unique to this area. Um, I mean, I haven't really looked. I definitely haven't like scoured mile by mile, like next to Area 51 where they dropped all the nuclear bombs and stuff. But I personally just like scrolling through mile by mile on this app. I really haven't seen anything like this. I haven't uploaded anything like this. I found a pentagram once out in the super far north Japanese islands. I mean, so far north that they're actually owned by Russia, but that didn't have all these little markings. It looks like it's been blown up. So if it's a test range, that's one thing, but if it's not, then that means there was an old civilization here that they're trying to cover up. And so that's why I was thinking, well, maybe I should continue looking around in this area. I don't want to know what goes inside that rectangle fence there, but sometimes I'll follow, like, not really ley lines, but the roads, and I'll look in the area, and sure enough, it looks like, I mean, to me, that looks like they're digging, and they're, like, digging neighborhoods out again. I think I uploaded something in Peru or South America. So it's like they're digging, and then it's almost like they're just driving. It's like they're digging, taking, and then just driving all down here. and I like to follow the lines to see if there's any roads. That line of trees looks like that's a road. Now I go down, and then boom, there's the airport. So to me, they're digging up something here, taking it down those roads, and then to the airport and away to wherever. But this is like a straight up civilization, right? I mean, there's already proof of that star fort that's buried and the other star fort across. So to me, I think this whole thing, I mean, all right, so this is where it can kind of get kind of crazy. Like, I used to kind of criticize the people who are like, all mountains are buildings, but I mean, I'm seeing more evidence of mountains that look like buildings, and then maybe like because of the seismic forces and the liquefaction of the ground, maybe that's what slopes the mountains. Like, maybe everything was a star fort. Like, what if every single island was a star fort and everything inside the star fort was built out, and then big huge floods and liquefaction happens, and then things get buried, and then the edges of those walls just slope, and it's just covered with mud. I mean, I'm seeing more evidence of that because I mean, you see, all this looks like some like structures and stuff just buried to me. I'm no geologist and I'm no archaeologist. I'm just kind of looking and thinking. So, it's just, I mean, hey, look, if giants were real, which to me, I think they were, they would need big homes. You know what I mean? Like, they would need big doors and a bunch of land. So, I mean, if there was like some sort of cataclysm, there would be some sort of like maybe crunching up of the land, or I mean, who knows what really happened. All the texts, of course, are hidden in the Vatican, and so really all we can go by is what we see. And like right here, I see like it just looks like it's electric, like fractal burning. This doesn't really look like a valley created by tectonic plates or anything. Like, just that one area looked like it was kind of shocked. So this is just me continuing. I mean, I'm very intrigued and I've found stuff already, so I'm just going to keep on looking. And it didn't take too long for me to find more crazy stuff. Maybe stuff that they don't want us to see. Kind of wish we had our own satellites, huh? But Google Maps did kind of show the full thing in the area, but you still kind of see how they gave it some sort of shade or something. Like, it's completely different. You can see the different greens, but this was like an old structure. I mean, they definitely dug stuff up, and this was another area that they kind of had blocked. Oh, actually, they did have blocked off, and it just looks like rubble, like just from stones and stuff. I mean, there's roads there, right? But look at that. Like, how can there be roads there, but it just looks like it's that messed up land? And I mean, I see the roads there, but yeah, they really try to cover up as much as they can, don't they? I mean, this whole thing could have been like really like a huge tower, like, right? It could have been all built up. Could have been a huge lighthouse, almost like a Tower of Babel or something, and then just gets blown up, and all the rubbles just look like just natural rock. I mean, doesn't that look like an electrical burn? A big old huge electrical scar? Excuse me, scar? Look at that. Same thing there. It just doesn't look like. See, stuff like that is supposed to. Those valleys are supposed to come from mountains, not come from the edge of the water. So that's why I am really. I'm not on the fence of anything. I just think that these are huge electrical burns and scars because they shouldn't be coming from the water. You know what I mean? Like, they should be coming from a mountain. Like, that's what they tell us that those valleys come from, is they come from the water cascading down the mountain, and it digs these grooves. That looks like a huge palace there for someone, or whoever's in charge of. To me, that looks like a defense base, or those look like defensive missiles or something. But like, coming from water too, like coming from the edge of the water, like water is conductive of electricity, right? Or something like that. Like it can go through it, basically, and or maybe the water. I mean, I'm just trying to like figure out those huge scars. Like we really don't know how, like the inside of the pyramid really blew up, like the Giza pyramid. Um, there's evidence of that blown up, but then they don't tell us anything. Like there's a chamber that was moved like a foot and a half in there, like, and you can't move like 1,000-ton blocks easily. So there was some sort of explosion inside the pyramid. And maybe a long time ago, like the water got electrocuted somehow, and then it just kind of burned some of the edges of some of these beaches. This looks like definitely some sort of defensive equipment or staging, and all that stuff is dug underground. See, it's just so weird. Maybe someone is smarter. Well, I know there's somebody smarter in the comment section, but maybe someone knows what all this is, because I mean, to me, it's definitely dug up. Like all those mounds and stuff, those are all dug up. But how are they, like, recently dug up, or have they been there for a long time? Like, I mean, look at that. That's dug up for a reason. It's just really weird stuff. Maybe I'm just a paranoid stoner, but I mean, there's just no denying there's buried civilizations there, so I can't be too far off the rocker. And even possibly old mining. Maybe the generations before us mined. And then I come across this weird thing, and I don't know, that looks kind of like those tubes that are on like the moon, like that they call like or Mars, one of those two. Maybe they're on both, but like those glass tunnels. It kind of looks like that. And then I go on Google Maps and take a look, and of course, there's no name or no picture. Like, there's no street view, no cars, or probably allowed close. Either it's not finished, or I don't know. Like, what? Maybe it's a time machine? You just drive super fast and then you disappear? Who knows? It just looks unfinished. But it's still weird, you know what I mean? The most disputed areas have the craziest histories to tell, right? Wonder why.